Cup, I think. But anyway, Harriot has come to talk tonight about coal mining. Harriot is the heritage officer with the Port Talbot, Neath Port Talbot Library and Museums. Sorry, first of all, can I welcome Councillor Williams and Councillor Lewis? Sorry, I'd forgotten you. But Harriot has come up tonight to talk about miner stories that she's recorded with miners from the South Wales coalfield. And we have one of the last miners from Bryn here tonight, Philip, and Harriot will interview him sometime tonight.
I'd love to, yeah. Well, not so much tonight, but certainly at some point, yeah.
Because I'm sure he's got lots of stories of the coal mine here in Bryn. But anyway, I hand it over to Harriot. All the best.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me up to Bryn. This started as more of a presentation and a few snippets from interviews that I did. Last year I interviewed about 15 gentlemen, all who'd worked or had colliery experience of some sort or other, and I've got hours and hours of footage. So I've condensed it down and I've tried to just make a little story of some, miners' experiences really, within the South Wales coalfield. So it started by putting posters up, and I had a lot of phone calls. Like I say, I've got 15 or 20 gentlemen altogether, and they invited me into their homes, and we had a cup of tea and we'd have a chat about their experiences and their lives, and this really is what I have to show you this evening. So I'll stop talking for now. And one thing I did what really hit me was that everyone I spoke to was from a mining family. Can you all see there? Am I in your way? Yeah. You okay? Everyone was from a mining family. I think it's generations upon generations of miners, really, rather than there was one person who came from any other background. And this gentleman, like I say, is 93, and he remembers the 1927 strike, which, when I started talking to him about strikes, he said, "Oh, I remember, I was only a little one then," and I realised, God, we're going back to the 20s, you know. But this is how Jacko and his first experience.
My father was a sinker, my grandfather was a sinker, my uncles were sinkers in the formation of the pit, and that was in 1879. From there onwards, then the family grew, and here we are at this particular time. My parents moved from Bryn Villa in St. Sisters, where they had developed a property and a little shop in the commencement of the pit. Now my grandmother worked on the screening of the coal on the pit as it developed to a certain degree where labour became available. And that's the older generation. But then my father was developing in Onslow, number 3, St. Sisters, and all at the same particular time developing for seeds of coal. And then eventually, I'm afraid that's what actually killed him, was cirrhosis. I was born in 1918, and going back, of course, I can't remember much about my grandfather on either side, because they had died, like in the case of, when my father died when I was 6 years old, and he had married a second time, see, and we had silicosis killed him, no question about it. From there on, then, of course, at 14 years of age, I went into the colliery. St. Sister.
Can you describe your first day?
Oh, terrifying, going down in the pit. But luckily, like boys of my age and friends in the street then, were working there already. So I was joining them in a sense, and we were all in the same pit with our shaft going down, like, so they were comforting me as the first boy going down, like, you know, because it was terrifying, I don't think, yeah.
What was your first experience in the cage?
That's what I'm talking about. That was terrifying. You drop, and your stomach comes up, you know. That was terrifying, yeah. But immediately you got down there and things settled down, and you worked with you were given himself, like, and you worked with him, and he had to pay you 13 and 8 a week for 6 days a week, 8 hours a day at the coalface. Not going down, but at the coalface. 8 hours is valuing. Yeah. But my first buddy was David Price from Panapol. And from there then I had numerous other things together. Slavery, 18, 19, I had a place of my own, as they call it, and you run your own living in. Of course, you run in a living for somebody else, as they call it. Well, you have a great call and fill the trams. And do whatever necessary to keep the store, as they used to call them, going and they have a great ground and coal and whatever have you.
It amazes me that he's 93
Marvellous, yes.
and remembers everything. His first butty at the age of 14, it's unbelievable. And this experience with all of the miners, they were all like that. They can all tell me, say, 50 years ago, the roadways and what they were called, what the certain bends were called, what their butty was called, what the overman was called. They remember everything. It's just fantastic. The first couple of interviews now, these are the gentlemen who we're hearing from later on, so it's more of an introduction to each one. It's another lovely gentleman. Oh, there we are.
I started work on the 11th of January 1937. I wasn't nervous or anything, as a matter of fact. Well, maybe the fact that my father was with me made it a little easier, you know. Of course, for the only thing I did then for 3 months was to shovel coal into a tram. And then, of course, the haulier would come and take it away. And my father would prepare the coal and I'd fill it. But eventually, of course, I became able to get the coal myself. So I remember the first pay that my father had after I was working with him as a boy. Well, I didn't have a pocket, it was all in one pocket, so I had to depend on him. The only thing I had was £1 pocket money. And the first thing I remember him us doing, and him giving me 9 pence to over to the checkweigher, he was called. He was a secretary lodge just there then, and he was a checkweigher. Give me 9 pence, 6 pence for his Federation money and 2 pence for mine. So I paid Federation, I still pay it anyway. That's when I started growing up then.
I think that's the other thing, that most of them still pay their Fed money. Still pay seniors, still pay to the Fed, you know. And he's what, in his 90s by now, 80s. It's, but again, generations and generations of miners, as you probably know, being from Bryn, it's a mining village, isn't it? Please excuse me talking as well on the... I couldn't edit that bit out.
Census Colony I started when I was 14. I started work in the fitting shop in Census Colony because my father he didn't want me to go on the coalface. And at the time then there wasn't much underground machinery as such. And there were only 4 fitters there. But as the years went on, you know, the machinery was introduced and we were working underground and repairing machinery and different things, laying pipes and as you have it like. And I worked there then till it closed in 1963. And then I went to Kellan Court in 1968. That's in 1968. Now, Kellan Court wasn't a very pleasant place to work, it was deep, but it was worse in it. And then from there I moved on to Trafalgar, which I finished up as a shift charge engineer in Trafalgar, in charge of a shift, night shift mostly, repairing machinery and all that like.
He was very, very happy to be out of mining. That's when I said happily in retirement, put that there, because he really is happy not to be underground anymore. And of course, I'd be shocked if I didn't interview Councillor Thomas. He was very interesting. Spoke a lot about the miners' strike, but I couldn't record it all. I spent 2 hours with Councillor Thomas, and every now and again he'd do that on the dictaphone, and I pressed stop, and I heard some stories. But that is it.
I'm one of a family of 10, 2 girls and 7 boys. Only one of the boys didn't work in quality. He became a very famous chemical engineer, and the rest of us worked in quality. And over the years went to different bits. My eldest brother worked in quality. When it finished, he went to work in the metal box, where he worked until he retired. My other brother, Tom, he was working in all frame. I was, and my 2 younger brothers as well. But we all sort of moved on to different colonies. One brother now, one brother Pergood, one to Glenboard, and I went to Glenboard as well. So,
How old were you when you first went underground?
15 and a half. The half being very important.
Did you have training before you went underground?
Oh, you left school, and you went to the mining training centre in Silvera, called Cuba. You did 16 weeks there, very good training officers. We went underground from the production pit. We went down underground to the drift mine. At the end of the 16 weeks, you went back to the colliery where you'd secured a job. And in my case, that meant you went on the screens, called regulation particle, where the coal was turned into crushers, etc. And you picked the slag out of the coal, and you did that for 2 months till it was 15 and a half, and then you went underground. It was something very special. At a very young age, you became aware that this place was going to have to suffer sick. Your eyes would go, your ears would go, and your mouth would. But they were all little things that mattered and taught you respect and self-respect as well. Not that you didn't have that. It taught you the way you wanted it to be underground. Very strict discipline.
I didn't realise, and I'm sure 100 years ago it was different, that there was training, that you did go to these mock-up collieries then and learn your trade before they actually sent you underground. No, and there were a few scattered around these training colleges, training collieries then, yeah. This is the youngest of my miners. I think Mr. Truman's about 52, something like that.
My name is Truman. Mum and Dad, they are from Trinidad. Grandparents were from Shropshire. And they moved down here and they started, my grandfather started in the collieries. All the three generations and this, yes, we'll be in it, I will be 3, yes. First of all, I left school, I went to a factory, which is 3 miles down the road. I only stuck it for about 8 months. Didn't like working in a factory, because to be honest, I thought it was very claustrophobic. I know it sounds dull then, because I finished there. I went over to the local colliery, which is just down the road from here. And did tell my mum what I was doing. No dad. Went down, asked for a job, and I was given a job, and I came home then. I told my dad that I was starting in a colliery, but I didn't tell mum till the next, because I was scared to tell her, because she didn't want me to go underground. But my dad was alright about it, and not mum. But although I looked at it, I didn't find that claustrophobic, but I couldn't work in a factory. And the first colliery I started there, 1972, I started a job there underground, cleaning the beds, general underground work. Then I applied for an apprenticeship, which I had an apprenticeship then I was 73. I done 4 years underground then as an apprentice. And then after finishing up, I moved on into either being working on the bases or working on the developments. That's where I stayed. I stayed there until 85, which is just straight after the miners' break. I transferred then to Blaenant, which is 2 miles down the road. I worked there general fitter on the ground there, and I stayed in Blaenant then till Blaenant shut in May the 1990. And that was so from basically 72 to 1990, that was my college experience.
Yeah, he spoke a lot about being underground and the camaraderie, but it was the fact that he was claustrophobic in a factory. Happy as Larry underground, but at factory, no, couldn't cope with that at all.
Still awesome.
You're okay, Truman. And of course the baths. I have school children come into the Colliery Museum, and I get the old tin bath out, and I get them with a kettle, and I get them walking up and down in the classroom, you know, how many times Mum had to fill the bath. And I don't think they appreciate the fact that, you know, these collies had come home stinking, and the mum's work was just unbelievable. One of the gentlemen actually told me that they wouldn't go home and bath, they'd go via the river, and all of them would just jump in the river on their way home and get the cold dust off them.
Nice day.
And then, oh yes, yeah, I don't think it was every day. Now this photograph actually is of the baths in Kevin Coyd.
The baths were built in 1937. Kevin Coyd had the baths first, and I think my father then he was a treasurer of the local lodge, you know, the NUM, and I think he was one of the people instrumental in getting the baths, which was really a good thing. The baths, as I said, was spotless because the superintendent we had in charge, he was very keen on cleanliness. You wouldn't allow anybody to go. You had 2 sets of lockers, the clean side and the dirty side. So you walk from there to there with dirty clothes in, and then you walk through have a bath and back in, and you wouldn't allow you to work over the clean side in working clothes. You go to the bath, you strip down, and you leave your clothes, clean clothes in your locker, take your towel, and you soap dish, and you walk out to the dirty side and put your working clothes on. And you the reversal procedure, and then you come out. But in you have a bath in the shower. The baths have worked. The steam from the corridor to warm the water.
I never knew that either. That's how they warmed the water. I mean, I'm sure it changed different collieries, but and there's the boilers there in Kevin Coyd. Oh. Now I have been down in a cage. None of this is from my experience, but I have been to Big Pit, and I have gone down in a cage, so I have this for an experience. But I don't think it was as rapid as what some of the winding men did. Get started.
On my actual first day I went in the ground, believe it or not, because I was listening to what my father said, that when you want to go down in a cage, you want to keep swallowing for your eardrums to pop. And I began a little bit worked up and apprehensive and nervous and excited about getting in a cage. You wouldn't want to have food just before you went in the cage, because you could feel the food going up and down from your stomach and your throat up and down like that. You know, it was very, that was all. When I'm just about to get in a cage, they are bringing a man out, which had just had an accident in the ground, and he was covered from head to toe in bandages, but I later found out he broke every bone in his body, bar his right big toe. That's the only bone that he didn't break. And when I seen that, I was a little bit nervous, but the training man that was with us, he just looked at us, he said, don't worry about that, that's just something you had about.
Every bone in his body apart from his big toe was just...
First night I went down with the cage, with the fitter. He was a fitter in the kitchen shop, and we were called underground to do a breakdown. And
he's known for dropping it, and he did drop it. But as the time went on, then he working at the bottom in the pit. You'd come back to the bottom of the pit, then there were two carriages there when you're coming down. But on the way in drum, you had one rope going in on the bottom and the other rope on the top. So when it's going out, when it's coming in, like you'll see well, when you come back to the pit bottom, that's hard day's work, isn't it? You don't work straight in maybe half an hour before it reaches the surface, because it's such a queue of men waiting to work. And the carriage in 7, supposed to only 12 men, supposed to be, but more than that. And you know, when you go last in the queue, you think, well, afternoon shift, 10:30, the time you get up, 11 o'clock, time you go bath, you know, it won't be about 11, 12 o'clock.
I think that was referred to. I think that was we'd heard it before from somebody else, is that you get paid, or in a lot of circumstances, when you actually got to your stall, and it could be 3 mile walk before you actually get there. So of course it just added to your days, you know, it's such long days. Lady over there, you've been in a spake, haven't you? This gentleman now is talking about a spake, the spake ride, I like to call it.
The chief back, we went down in proper man-riding spakes, but in blind hand, he went down in the drums. There were 6 men in the drums. They put 2 full drums in the front. There's an empty drum then where you put all the tools and cut the explosives in, or any stuff to go underground. Then he went into the drums, and there's about 20 drums altogether. And the rider just knocked it down, and he just dropped down there. So it was a bit frightening. But when we used to go down, the first corner you came to was daylight turned into this corner where you turned left. And you run on for a couple of 100 yards, and there's another sharp right down corner, fast left corner, where that is under Penter and Climate. And we ran down then, and we followed the code of the main tunnel, and followed the code, so you can imagine it was like a swamp that was up and down. And some parts, there's no post for nothing, only posts over the wires, for the knocking wires to stop the drums. And you get stuck in a swamp sometimes, and they knock stop, and you pull the journey back up, and the spake back up to the top of the slope there, and they keep it go, shoot through the sun, back down, and till you got to the double parking then underground, so everybody got out there. Then you walked then from there to your workplace of work there. So the man rider is then at for drums.
I think that's a bit, they're just very slightly smaller than that, but you'd be in one of those. It reminds me of Indiana Jones every time I hear that story, when he's whizzing around, and that's like, imagine just pulling the spake back up and just letting him go.
At your place of work, on the bar, they call it. Shovels, hatchet, picks, dirty keys and victim bars, everything else was on a bar, locked. And if somebody was coming in then on a weekend and didn't have food, he'd bust your lock and you'd have to look into your food all over the place. Other than that, you never took anything under, only your clothes you had on, and your Tommy box and bottle jacket. You never had that. Then I used to wear my Harriot. Keep it in your head on the hangers, that carry the rope and feel a bit low. Not a cap lamp. Or first of all, we had the heavy lamps, the electric hand lamps. Well, where you were working, you'd have to go and fetch the hatches, and if you run each end of an arch, dragging it. So you have to keep the lamp on your belt, banging against it. Really easy, so then Kaplan started to come in, and first of all, everybody wanted one. First of all, only the hauliers were having it, the men with the horses, and then it was decided repairers, so all had Kaplans, and then once you got Kaplan, you got the helmet. A lot of them still used to wear the old die cap with the clip in the front to put the lamp in. Some of the old fellas didn't want them. They're no good, you've got no light behind you. I said, well, when you turn, yeah, that's what the light's going to be, isn't it?
I think there's always resistance to change, isn't there? And even then. But no hard hats. Didn't like the hard hats. They kept their berets and their die caps. Of course, there was a lot of this because it breaks through the rock, wasn't it? But with Blind Ant, where Mr. Arnold was talking about, it was very close to the surface where there was a drift mine, where they were actually firing. And this is one of his little stories.
The drift changed then, went from Harriot down to a new drift in Kevin Cove. And that's where I had my first job as a deputy, was down the drift there. And of course, I had to learn a bit about that. And they were boring a full down the holes about 50, 60, 70 holes. And then it was close to the surface, so we could fire for as long as everyone knew it. We could fire them from the surface. And it was shaking at all. So you see cars stopping and men getting out and looking down at the car to see what was the matter. But there was nothing the matter, it's just shots going off or shaking a bit.
Like an earthquake. It must have been quite terrifying to be driving along a road and then suddenly just the great shakes. No, yes. I think many people, everyone, I think knows somebody who's had some sort of accident. Oh, I can't find my little, there we are, there he is.
Coal dust is 90% carbon, which is inert. You know, your skin will grow over it without turning septic or something like that. You see lots of on the faces, particularly on the road, because if they hear something falling, they look up. Worst thing you would do. It's instinctive, isn't it? You see lots of the old miners, they put marks on the nose or their cheeks or their forehead.
And now I see them all the time. Blue scars, everywhere you look now. So I'm just going to see where my pictures have disappeared to. There we are, right. Okay.
You know, I was with a doctor down in the hospital earlier, and I had a cartilage out before you for the kneeling or whatever have you when he was examining it, and he said, you've got no hair on your knees. So I said to him, well, after 20 years on your knees and the ground, you've fortunately got skin. So you can notice now, my knees are darker. Right? You know what? My knees are darker than the rest of my leg. That's by being on the knees for a particular time.
And he showed me. And showed me all his scars as well. Oh, yes, yes.
I witnessed to Father Drea when he had a lad, he was about 17, I think. His first day in the ground, he's scared. He's working with his entrance. And Stone came down and killed him. Then another man then, the Tribune, he was working on his courses and he was told not to go back here in the conveyor where there was nothing on the roof. He was told not to go back there, and we went back there and talking down and killed him. Another instance then in the pit, when I worked in the pit, there was one man, he was a Polish boy he was. He came to work one morning, he bought a second-hand bike for his son, he was going to do it up for Christmas for him. And he left the bike in the pit and barns, and he went to work, he was killed that morning. So, mostly as soon as I witnessed some time ago, you know.
I think they were the sort of milder versions, really, for some of the stories that I heard. Again, it was a turn it off. Out of respect to the families, really, as well, you know, it's horrific thing. And also, what I did notice was, even though many years ago, yes, we knew, you know, Victorian times, it was dangerous, the gases and all of this, it seems to be there were equally amounts of accidents in more modern mining, because of course with conveyors and with the more power tools, they brought dangers of their own, fingers and what have you gone, you know, yes.
So I had discussions with one of the local historians of Resolve some time ago, with a view of a miners' memorial at Resolve. 4 miners killed in local pits. When I say local pits, I meant specifically for pits surrounding the Resolve area and nowhere else. And all the names on the memorial are basically from the Resolve area, and some are from outside the area, but nevertheless they've been killed in local pits. There was a need to get some detail from the local historian, whose name was Mr. Billy Downing, and he researched the names, the dates when they were killed, and where they were killed. On top of that, then he researched the production and the various pits that took place at the time. I then, as a member of the Neath Port Council at the time, raised the money in conjunction with the Ryan Mining. They financed the program, and I can say that the memorial itself, when I spoke to Dr. Howard Francis, who is the current member of Parliament for Port Talbot, when I spoke to him some time ago, he told me that it is the only one of its kind throughout the British coalfield. It's the only one of its kind because there are many mining memorials throughout the British coalfield, but for mining disasters and various things like that. But this one was specifically for miners who were killed in local pits. And each name is on there and the dates they were killed. And I suppose from a Resolve point of view, we just be proud because it's the only one of its kind throughout the United Kingdom.
So that is until next year, Brian. We haven't one in Bryn, and I think it's a marvellous. Like you said, there are disasters where hundreds of people were killed. The next piece is on the Cambrian disaster. But so many lives were lost. Just everyday accidents, and roof falls, that it's fitting, I think, that it has got a memorial there. Unfortunately, and this may be a word of warning for Bryn as well, vandals got to that memorial, and so we've now got it in Kevin Coy's Colliery Museum. So I don't know if there's a way, not that I'm saying anyone in Bryn would do such a thing, but just in case, keep it safe, because it's an important thing to have, Now the footage for this isn't as long as the voiceover, so I'm going to press it twice for you.
What had happened on the Harriot Road was crossing the main return to the main colliery, which was the F-cast shaft, which was in Astray. And we drove that while I worked in Connie, from Mainly Colliery. So that was the main return for number 1 colliery. Now, where this accident happened, the coal face at that particular point had gone on, and it had contacted on one side here all workings of one of the old workings there. And where this road had crossed over the main intake was no distance at all. They had put trapdoors in there, so that when they brought supplies in on the return road, they could lift what was wanted for the gate up to this trapdoor. Now that particular weekend they were going to extend or put a new belt in, a conveyor belt for outright, take the coal out. And they were lifting stuff through this hatch, the same shift as the coal shift was there. Well, the coal shift had been on stop all day. There was an electrical fault, so it hadn't worked all day. But these men were still on this fall wind, so it meant that the air that should have gone all the way onto the face was bypassing. Because the front door was open. Now, you never noticed very warm in number 1 because it was wet. Not water falling on you from the roof. It was wet on the sea floor. If when you were crawling about from there down, you were wet. The electricians were all up in the tail end plate, as you call it. And you had motors that end of the face, motors this end of the face. and the transformer and switchgear, and the same on the gate, transformer and switchgear. Well, they couldn't find the fault. And in the meantime, the road that they were working in was going slightly to the rise. So methane that was leaking out by, at the entrance to the road, just found out later on, there was a blower of gas, as they call it. Gas continually issuing out of the strata at the entrance to the road, which was going uphill. So being lighter than air, it would travel up in the roof until it got to the far end, now where it was blocked, and it would gradually build up there. Right? So that end of the road now was full of gas. How they didn't detect it, I don't know, because every time we worked in number 1, at the tail end and the gate end, we used to have what we called the ring-rose lamp, an aluminium lamp, the white bulb and the red bulb. So if there was gas present, the red bulb would come on and let you know it was there. And the deputies got the oil lamp. You know, you can test, you canvass it, once you know what it's, you know, once you've seen it, and you've done it a few times, you know straight away. But the electricians were trying to find this fault, and they ended up doing it illegally with a rectifier. I don't know what you know of it, but a rectifier only allows current to go sort of one way. Yeah. So, piece of wire with this rectifier in the middle, it was common practice, man. You can test the circuits, right? But it makes a spark. So when the gas comes down low enough, and the spark set it off, the first thing that happens is the gas burns. It only explodes between 15% and 5%. If it's above 15%, it just burns until it reaches 15%. And then it goes off. And that's what happened there. Because when I took the inspectors in, there were 3 inspectors came the following day. I had to take them in out of the roads. They only wanted to go to the supply road where this initial explosion occurred. Everybody there was killed, and everybody down the face until you got to the gate. Everybody in the face on that road was killed. People on the gate weren't.
I actually, the first time I did this presentation, I didn't realise it was the 17th of May 2010, and it was the actual anniversary of the day. Still, I think that footage of watching the women and children waiting for news was just haunting, really. And again, it was human error. But, as you said, everyone had been on stop all day. You've got the pressure then of you've got to get the coal out, and corners are cut. That was a gentleman called Cyril Windoss. And he, like I said, he went in then with the inspectors afterwards. And after that...
And we worked up at North Drivers. One of the boys said, on day shift, there's a squirrel back here. It's a rat, man. It's a rat. There's a squirrel back here, so we went back to where the supplies were on the side of the road. And there was a big dragging squirrel there. So, big bushfire, how are we going to get him out? I said, I put him in a powder tin. We used to carry powder in leather tins over. I said, we put him in there and send him out. No, you can't do that. He'll have a headache. Go to the next anniversary of their stores, you'll have a headache, which give her terrific headaches. So we had a sack. So I phoned John Taylor, who was working on the bottom of the North Drivers on the button, conveyor button. I said, John, come up here. And I said, I need to halfway down. I wanted to take a sack out of the squirrel in. So I wrote the note now for John Taylor. Please allow John Taylor up the pit with a squirrel. So John was landed out. John went out with his squirrel in a sack. So when we at the end of the shift, we kept to the lamp room, and John's the manager again. Oi, come here. Who's it there squirrel working with him up there? And famous then, they went on trying that. He's come to the right place, he said, because you're only paying us peanuts up there anyway.
We weren't particularly well to do in our house. We had gas lighting in the house. We didn't have electricity at the time. We had an outdoor toilet, and we had coal fires. So quite often we couldn't afford to buy coal for the fires. And there's only so much you can ask people to lend you in terms of maybe coal. Can you lend me a bucket of coal? That was a common call in the village over the garden. Hey Tommy, can you lend me a bucket of coal tonight? No Fred, I can't do that. I haven't got any coal myself. Alright, do you fancy going up the valley then? Aye, alright then. So we could plan a little bit of something. You know, and when you heard that conversation, you know there was something going on, you know. And yeah, this was a particular instance that stuck in my mind. It was during one autumn, then it was, and my father said to me, right son, put a coat on, come in with me. And I said, where are we going then? And my man said, just come with me. So he held my hand, and we walked down the street out of the village, and on the side of the drum track, walked our way up past a wooded area into a sort of a quiet part between the washeries itself and the driftways. He led me up the drum track, and he told me then, took me down into the ferns. He said, be quiet now, go down there, we could hear drums going up and down on the workings. So my dad, knowing that the journey was about to be changed, jumped up and said, right, when I throw the coal to you, put it in the Hessian sack. He had a Hessian sack as well. So he would run forward to the drums, pick the coal out of the drums. It is stealing, of course, I understand what it is. But nonetheless, it's a live. This is survival as well. Pick the coal out of the drums, throw it into the ferns, careful to avoid hitting me, and I would try to roll some of the coal into the sacks so that we could have some coal. But at the same time, what we didn't know was half the village was hiding in the ferns. They all were staying here. They were popping up here, there, and everywhere, and rushing up to the drum track. And so I could hear one of the chaps now, Tommy Waite, living opposite. He said, bloody hell, Fred, you've been after me a starter there. He said, Tommy, what are you doing here? Look, it's half the village here, he said. And they were all in there, so that while he was the journeyman who was in Coupling, there was coal flying left, right and centre in here, and young kids packing it into sacks, and women and all minds. So consequently, within about 10 minutes, you hear a big clatter, and you'd hear the bells ringing, because the journeyman would have warned now the housing man to begin to lower it down again. So they'd all leap back into the ferns, and the journey would continue on its way. Now there's one proviso with that. Quite often the journeymen were from the village anyway. They lived in the village. So this, it seemed to me, was it was a bit too obvious for me as a boy.
Does that bring back any memories? Would any of that sort of nonsense go on in Bryn? I think that was a common thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
There has been a wing forward, a place for Aberafan called Omri Jones. And Omri was a policeman up in the valleys here in Cumber. Right. And many people reckon that's how we kept fit, was chasing people with big coal.
The gathering of all the pits in Wales, as far as the pits is concerned. And it was all about culture. It's not only a miners' gala, but I mean miners' Eisteddfod and Folk Hall as well, which I took part in with Onfran Choir many times. But I mean, you know, the South Wales country, culture-wise, wasn't anything to touch it anywhere in the world, you know. And miners' gala was a day out, you know, jump on the bus, and off you went to Cardiff, and you have a march, and you have political speeches. You can see it now, you know, it's a place for people to jump up in the box anywhere they wanted, many years. The day out for children as well. We used to put children on the weights and we marched to Cardiff and just a sign of solidarity. But it is camaraderie amongst us all was fantastic.
I think that's one thing that I've seen from all of them, is just the camaraderie and the watching each other's back, and families as well, and the villages. It's completely different. I don't know, but I don't think we'll ever see that again unless we have an industry. Yes, it's a completely different lifestyle now, isn't it? Now, I could do hours with the footage I've got from the strike, so I've just chosen a couple of little stories, a little bit of background, and then a funnier story to do with the strike. Otherwise we'd be here till next Tuesday.
Shanties dispute about money and wages in the main, money, wages. At the end of the day, there was an element of bit as well. So, there was that to that time as well. But not to the degree it was in the 80s, because they traded on and showed that we will see changes in the coal industry, and we do those half of what we left with it. And of course, whatever said and written since is history. But the reality is that the fight to keep what we had left in the coal industry was justified in a way. Justified in the sense that giving the self-satisfaction that looking back on it now today when you see people struggling for work, how right we were to fight to try and keep the industry. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
You mistake, we used to have used to go around then and go around the villages, and they would set off the people would donate food, and then he would give you food parcels, and everybody was on the street who would have a food parcel, and then you would actually have food parcels from all over the world, right? Because I had this one food parcel, and it was a Russian food parcel, and I had this food, and Russian label, I never knew if it was dog food or soup or anything, but the best laugh of it was, I remember my mum was what she thought was a big thing of lard, and she was trying to break it off, but she said, I can't break it, damn lard, to put it in a frying pan. She said she break a piece off, put it in the pan, and it wouldn't melt. Well, I found out after, but it smoke. So it wasn't lard, it was smoke. Right? But it was Russia, and we knew the end, but we didn't know. That's the things about that, you know.
I think everyone's got a story about the strike as well, you know, funny stories. I did interview one gentleman who was on the cranes down in the steelworks when they were up there for 2 days, and they stopped it. He was then held overnight at Her Majesty's Pleasure Inn for Talbot Police Station, and I later found out that they didn't have enough. There were over 100 of them that were arrested that night. And they didn't have enough food to give them all breakfast, because if you're in overnight, the police station have got to give you breakfast. And they had to go, now let me think which hotel it was, one of the bigger hotels in Port Talbot. And they said, I'm not sure if it was the Grand, or if it was just a bit further out, but apparently it was the finest, they had to get the breakfast cooked there. And I'm told the chef was a sympathiser, so they had the finest breakfast that they had for the entire time throughout the strike. And they said, no, it's all right, I don't want to go now, we'll stay for lunch as well. And this was something I asked all of them. I think it was just the one gentleman who was happily in retirement, who was quite happy not to be underground, but every single one of them said, yeah, they'd go back if they could, yeah. So first of all, have we extracted all the coal?
Well, there's an absolute abundance of coal that is out there. And they're on about all this renewable energy and all this wind farms. That's all they do. If they wanted to open the bits again, they could run power stations everywhere. They could have power stations everywhere, takes out the emissions, and they got it. But coal is there, it is absolutely there in abundance.
I think we all know that. I had a young boy ask me today, well, why then? Because look, my doctor says loads of coal. Loads of coal. Why aren't we still mining? I said, well, we're told that it's very expensive and it's cheaper to get it from abroad. It's a point of debate, I think, that will go on for years, you know.
The wife asked me after the accident, I was sitting in the house one day, and she said, if something happened to go, and I said, they came in the house and they said, would you work underground again? And take your time thinking over it and, you know, let us know. And I said, the wife said, how far would he go on? He said, he wouldn't get to the door.
He'd go straight back.
He'd go straight back, but they wouldn't even get the door again, with all the activities they were. Yeah, but he says this is Jimmy as well.
If the pits were to reopen,
Yes.
would you go back?
I think we'll go back to London, where we were. I would, but we've got to turn the clock back. The job I'm doing now, I work on one highways with a council. I'm out in Luton, right? I've been out in Luton for 18 years. It would be hard to go back underground, right? I've actually, in the garage there, still got my helmet, my own knee pads, all my tools, which is still in the garage there, alright? So I could go back. I don't think my dad would fit me anymore, I don't know, alright? But that would be, that's a hell of a hard question, right?
This is 20 years ago.
Yeah, so 20 years ago, with all the friends that we had, absolutely I wouldn't even bat an eye, I'd be there tomorrow. But, as you say, a lot of water gone under the bridge since. Would you want to go back to those conditions? I don't know.
Wind off.
I was tempted to phone a man up in our program there. Ask the manager, I know I'm a retired mining engineer, can I have a last sniff of the air in return?
They all missed it. They all missed it. And this, I explain this every time, is a gentleman that I worked with in Kevin Coyd Colliery Museum. He was a tour guide there. He was there for a good number of years. Collier at Flyman on Kevin Coyd, and he passed away in January of this year. So, it's just for him. And thank you, Bryn. I hope you enjoyed it. As much as I enjoyed interviewing them. Thank you.
Harriet, thank you, Harriet. I think it's an old miner's expression that at the end of the shift, the foreman would tell them all to put their tools on the bar, and that was the end of the shift. Diolch yn fawr, you put the tools on the bar. I'm going to